All right, now that we have worked on some shape files that are triangles and points, like this shape file here that's a polygon for how from the High Atlas office it goes down to encompass the other project sites, or this shape file up here, which is the assumed area between the experimental farm and the university, including most of the university grounds, just something I drew in there to get an idea of the landscape. So we know that we can get that into our spreadsheet by putting the points as latitude, longitude coordinates, and the polygons as multi-polygon or polygons, starting with, by the way, longitude first and then latitude. So it's the same thing. Actually, what I should do is I should put this and move this over, if it'll let me. How would it let me? I thought you could just drag it over. Not that it really matters, because I set this in the attributes import table that longitude comes first, then latitude. Because whenever you find it on a map, when you're looking at an actual Google map, so where's the Google map? Find the Google map. So whenever you look at a site, like if you're looking at, let's look at the Water Museum in Marrakesh, then you right-click. That first number is the latitude, and the second number is the longitude. But when it comes into QGIS, it picks the longitude first and then the latitude, and that is true also when you have a shape. So just want you to be aware of that, because that caused some confusion to me. But now, what about a line? What about if we're down in a village and we chart out a path, like if we're down here and we want to show how you get to an area that doesn't have a road and you want to make your way through the village, for example. How would you get that in the spreadsheet? And so looking at this feature here, I guess we could say that we wanted to get to, well, this is, I want to find a better example of this. All right, so there's this really cool sort of, depressed area underground here that makes some great geography. And let's say you're in this village here, which is, by the way, this is Amezgan. We do have a photo of what it looks like, so let's take a look at the photo of Amezgan. So this is where the solar panels are in Amezgan. So if we were going to get there and we wanted to say, hey, let's make a path that goes down to these really cool areas underneath these cliff faces, then we would want to be able to draw that and then store it in our spreadsheet. So you would go to the project sites and you would open it up for, well, you'd want to open it up for editing, but because it is hasn't been created as a shape file, you can't edit it there. So we're actually going to create our own new shape file for this. So we're going to go layer and create layer, a new shape file layer, and we'll call this paths, footpaths, I guess. So footpaths, the geometry type is going to be a line string this time, and the name is going to be footpath name, or just name, I guess, as type string, test string, and then we'll put in here the well-known text, and this is a line well-known text, and we'll make this 255. What well-known text is a way of calculating more than points. You'll see it in a second. So those are the two fields that we're going to have in it for now. And then I'm going to take my pencil here to start editing, and I'm going to edit a path, which is this thing here, and say, all right, well, you would start here and and actually you wouldn't start there, you might start at somebody's house. So let's say that we started in this house here, and we said, okay, you walk through the field, and you go slightly to the left here and down, because you don't want to disturb a farmer there, and then you can cross through here, and you can follow this footpath down like that, and then he'll let you cross his field there, but then you got to follow across that field, and then you're going to come down here. So in our fictional tale of how to get to this place, we're making a path that then goes down this road, and then from this road you go along the border of this area here, along this dry riverbed, and then when you get around this way, they've said it's the safest way down is to go down here and then enter into that bowl this way, and then you're there, and that's where we're going to have the camping. All right, so we right-click on that, and we call this the path to party bowl, whatever. And then you've got this LineWKT thing. We don't know what to do with that yet. That's going to be the shape file. So now that we have that and we stop editing it, where did it go? Well, it's very hard to see, and it's probably so hard to see because of the color. So let's go in here and change the color to something that's much easier to see, like a blue for the path. And also let's make it bigger. Let's make it in pixels, and let's make it 1 pixel and see what that does. There it is. Maybe make it even bigger. Let's make it 3 pixels. Yeah, and if we like that, then there's our path. So we want to store that in a spreadsheet in case we want to do this on ArcGIS Pro or send it by email to somebody and have this path show up. So what we need to do, because when you look at the attribute table, it doesn't have anything for those coordinates. So there's a formula we need to use. And so that formula, and let me open the attribute table. That formula, when we go to edit, comes from the field calculator, which is this little abacus. And we want to update our field, and the field we want to update is the LineWKT, or the well-known text. And then we put an expression in that will calculate it. Now, I can't remember expressions for the life of me, but it is geometry, and it is geometry, and then, or geom, and then there's an underscore, and then it's from to WKT. So we put that in, and then we have to do $ geometry, I think that's what it is, but I'm going to check with ChatGPT because I learned it from ChatGPT. So geometry to well-known text, yeah, $ geometry. That is, in fact, the one that we want. And so we are going to then come back here and make sure that we have that right. Yeah, right, okay, and then say okay, and bang, that gives us this multi-line string. Let me stop editing. And let's make this a little bit bigger. And there it is. That is that feature. And it looks like it's starting with longitude like it should. The reason I know that is because -7 is west of the Greenwich meridian. If you look at the map, look at the map, and you will see that England's Greenwich meridian is down through Greenwich somewhere. So that is what divides the not the hemispheres. The equator obviously divides the world this way. going through Ecuador, the equator. So down here is the equator dividing the northern and southern hemisphere. But England divides the western and eastern hemisphere. And Morocco is in the western hemisphere, so it's negative that way, because the quadrants are positive for the north, negative for the south, positive for the east, and negative for the west, because that's like Cartesian coordinates. It's the XY system for those quadrants. So with that said, the line that we had, which is now in the footpath, here it's starting at -7, so it's not far from 0, which is the Greenwich meridian, and then it's 31 in latitude, which is 31 degrees north of the equator. And that's how you can use these numbers there. But now that I have this, if I stop, I want to be able to copy the cell content, come into my spreadsheet, and for this feature, which I'm going to create, I'm going to put it in, it's in Amers Gan, so it's in Oarzazate, and then it's in Amers Gan, right? I'm going to look at the map again and make sure, because I could be getting this wrong. So let me look at my map.
I'll try.
And let's see where we created this. So right click here and say zoom to layer. There is our thing, and it's in Amers Gan. Oh, in the village of Aglula. Okay, so we're at the village of Aglula there. So if we were doing that for the village of Aglula, we would say in the village of Aglula, which is in Amers Gan municipality. So it would be called Aglula Path to Party. Say what you like. All right, Path to Party. And then you'd come into here, and into the polygon WKT is not where you'd put it, because that is for polygons. We have to create another column here. Insert column after. And we will...
Not so fast.
We had it. So where did it go? Where did our polygon go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I put it in the wrong place. I'm going to undo that. Let me come again to here, and now insert a column before that. Okay, and we're going to call this column LineWKT for well-known text. And down in the line there, for this particular entry, for that path, I'm going to come in and put this multi-line string there. Okay? And then I'm going to save. Now, because this is a separate column, I have to bring it in separately. So I've already got in my map, I already have the project sites, and I've got the polygons. That polygon, by the way, came from the spreadsheet from the polygon WKT, which is right in this column. But this new line WKT has to be brought in separately. So points get brought in separately, and polygons get brought in separately, and lines get brought in separately. So I can now go for this and erase what I have. I don't need it anymore. It's done. So goodbye. Not rename layer. Silly. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to remove the layer. I've lost my data. What about that path? So don't worry, because you got it in the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet was saved as a CSV, or a comma-separated value spreadsheet. So all I need to do is go layer, add a delimited text layer again. This time say that it is well-known text. It's not point coordinates. That's what we did for the project sites. This is what we used for the well-known text for the polygons. This time it's going to be for line. And what else do I need to do? It's got the right CRS. Looks fine. I've got to tell it that I want to use that same CSV for this. And it's going to default to point coordinates. No, go here, say the geometry field this time is LineWKT, and the geometry type is line. And all we need to do is hit add. And oh, did that work, or did that get ugly? That did not work, did it? Let's see what happened here. Let's go to the properties, and let's go to a bright blue like we had, and let's apply it. Ah, what a mess. So something went really, really wrong here, because it looks like it started out okay.
I love a good digging project. First, he needs to dig up the broken section of pipe.
Oh, it's going all the way down to the bottom of the world. Okay, so clearly there's a problem there somewhere. And now I'm regretting having deleted what we had. And it doesn't look like I can undelete it. And I didn't save it when I did that, did I? So, fully on me. I really messed up there. It's going way down there. And I wonder what the problem is. I mean, we had a multi-line string. Did I not copy it properly? So it ends on, there's this weird 3 at the end, and that shouldn't be there. So something got cut off apparently, because the 31, there's a point. So what if we get rid of one of these points, and it didn't even have a closing bracket? Look at that. So supposing then that we just get rid of this and then put our double bracket on that, will that help? It's got a double bracket now. Let's save it. And probably should have checked that before. So let's get rid of the zoom to layer. No, that's the problem right there. All right, so let's get rid of that. Or no, not get rid of it. Just let's change the data source and update the spreadsheet. Ah, it did work. All right, let's go to it now. Zoom to layer. All right, so let's see what we lost. So again, let me go to this and go to the symbology and make this pixels and make this 1 pixel, and it's a little bit bigger. It could be larger. I think we should make it, let's do an effect, a neon effect. Yeah, that'll work for now. So see what we got. Ah, so it got truncated down there for some reason. We lost a lot of that data. So I guess we'll just try it again. So let's remove that layer. Or can we edit? Let's see if we can edit. Probably not, because we brought it in from a table. Yeah, so we can't edit this. You'd have to change it to a shape file to be able to edit it. So I'm going to remove it. And I'm going to try it again. So I'm going to go add a layer, create a layer, new shapefile layer, and the file name is going to be project paths, and the geometry type is going to be a line, and it's going to have a name, and then it's going to have a line WKT, and then we are going to say OK, and we'll go to edit, and we'll start at this house again, and go to line, and say OK. You walk down the hall, you walk over around the field, you come down and go around the field that way. You start on this footpath here, you go down here, you go up here, don't go into the field there, the farmer gets mad. Go down here, walk along this wall, come down and around these trees, come over here, come on the road. Now when you get to the road, now go down the road and around here.
Now we need to
I'm doing it differently than I did before, but that's okay. Just going to see if we can do this. Come down here, walk up the perimeter of this valley here, and then come up and go in, and the party is going to be there. So let's say that that is it. So one name is half the party, and we don't have the line well known text yet, but we do have a project path. And again, we open the attribute table. And okay, first thing I want to do is make that bigger because we can hardly see it. So let's go to green. So I'm going to go to neon effect, apply it. There we go. So that's our path, and we will open the attribute table, and we will click on the abacus there. Say we're going to update an existing field, and that field is the LineWKT. And we're going to put in this geometry, not that. We're going to put in geometry underscore to the well-known text, and then string geometry, close bracket, and then say OK, and stop editing, save it, and then you can see this string, but it doesn't look, it looks like it got cut off as well. So how do these things get, I think I know why. I think I know why indeed. All right, let's try this again, and let's go to our attribute table and go to edit our attribute table. And let's see if we can edit the actual table itself. Conditional formatting, attribute table, add features, toggle multi-edit mode. So path to party, this has got to be edited. I'm going to actually get rid of this field because I don't know how. Oh, I got rid of that. Didn't want to do that. So what do I want to do? I want to create. I want to create. I want to be able to edit this. So I'm feeling like a total idiot now. This thing here has the wrong width, set width. So it's at 812. Maybe the column width was set up improperly. So I'm just start again. Project paths. I'm going to delete it. Remove layer. I'm going to start again. See why it's cutting things off. All right, so add layer. It's going to be a create layer, a new shapefile layer. File name is going to be project paths, and the geometry type is going to be a line string. And the name of the field, this one's going to be name, and that's going to be 80 is fine, but I'll put 255 because I can. And then what do I do for this? This is the LineWKT. It's a text string, but this is way too small, so let's go for 800. Will it let us do 800? Maybe. That's probably what the problem is. Yes. All right. So now that I'm in project paths, if I start drawing my project path again, maybe I shouldn't spend as much time with this as I did the last time. Just make this for fun. And then go down to path here. And then go down to here. And then cut in here. And be like Lawrence of Arabia and climb over here and then come up here, and that's what the party's going to be. And call it one name path to party. And then change this to the neon so I can see it better. And there it is. Now, in terms of getting those coordinates, we would still open the attribute table, and we would come here and go to the calculator, and we tell it to update the existing field and say geom.asWkt. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn. Geometry, and then say OK. And let's see if we get still cutting something off. Isn't that something? So we're not able to get the entire thing. And if I were to take this and put my double brackets there, and then copy all of this, and then go to my spreadsheet and say that, the double brackets closed, I wonder how much of it it's going to give us. So we can keep checking it and then figuring it out. So I can get rid of this now. Well, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to bring in the, I'm going to import now a new layer, which is from delimited text. I'll take it from the HAF project site. I will choose well-known text, but the geometry field now is going to be the line, and that should do it. And then I'm going to add it, and it only went as far as there. You can see that. You can see if I turn off this, that's all I get. So somehow we're only getting a piece of the line, and that is something that I've got to figure out. But that is the procedure, and we will figure out how to make it longer later on. If you'd like to stay with me, I'm just going to go to QGIS, and I'm going to show it, not QGIS, I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, okay, I'll take this picture, and I'll go to chat, and I'll take another picture, and show the longer path, and I will final picture I'll take is, I think I should do the, yeah, hold on. All right, go to the attribute table for this one and say, cut this off. So it was like, let's recalculate and figure out what that mistake was. So delete that and go back again to this and put in the same formula. That way ChatGPT can check our work.
Let's go! It's so fast! Here comes the ramp. Wow! Look at it fly! Don't worry, it's not real fun. He stopped the landing. Do you think the RC can do the rest of the stuff the Power Wheels did?
Okay.
Let's try.
And
first cars. It's a fast approach. But will it be fast enough?
we will say, hey chat, when I try to run the expression to get the coordinates for the line string, it cuts them off. I've made the field 800 and it still cuts them off. What am I doing wrong? And let's see what ChatGPT tells us.
so we just keep trying.
Issue facing being cut off is likely due to the field length limitation. Assuming his approach is increase the field length. Use a text field instead of a string field.
Weed has super strength or something. Let's just order mulch. These trucks have a mulch business. Hello? Yes, we'll deliver today. Drive the loader into the pile and raise the scoop. Here comes the dump truck. Position the loader.
2,000 or more.
And dump the scoop. Head back to the pile for another load.
We'll go back and try that.
Okay.
So
the dump truck is coming with its delivery.
This here we have to change, and I still don't know how to change the field. Organize columns.
Yay,
organizing them?
The pile is huge.
No. How do you edit column? Select all, multi-edit, save edits, add features.
What could possibly go wrong?
Maybe I'll just add a feature. No, that's not what I want. I didn't want to add a feature. I need to add a table. So let's see. If I go to this and I save the changes, if I want to change the project paths, I can toggle editing. No, that's different. It's not editing the attribute table.
It doesn't even fit on the trailer. Back it up and head to the pile.
So let's create another one. Hold on.
Dump it on the weed.
All right, so we're gonna try this again and make the field size much larger and see if that helps, because this is clearly not working. Remove that. Remove that. All right. New layer. Shapefile layer. Call it paths. Be shorter this time. Make it a line string. And then name is name. And then this text. It's only text string is all we can use. We're going to make this 2,000. Oh, it doesn't let us do 2,000. So we are limited. But why did 255 work? That works. So we can get up to 999, but we can't do 1,000. Name LineWKT. So it looks like we are going to be limited to the number of characters for it. And if that's the case, then this is going to be a very difficult operation to do, because we're not able to at one line segment, 2 line segments. What if I just go straight down? How many line segments can I do? Was I doing too many line segments? So if I tell it that, and I say this is ID1, and this is path to party, and then do that.
Open the hood and fix the engine. Looks like a problem with the fuel injectors.
All right. So these are short segments, so that might work. Let's see if we open the attribute table. And
She will inspect the slab first. This looks great. Take off the forms.
That's not it.
Then jump on the forklift.
So then go to the calculator and tell it that this existing field there, the expression area is geom to WKT, and then $ geometry. Now, preview. Even the preview give us.
Okay, I think we're ready to mix up the glass.
Hard to know how far it's going to go. So we say OK. That one closed. All right, so that one worked.
Okay, here we go.
So I guess it's really about how long we make it. What if we then, what if we edit this? Does this let us edit? Digitize, what is this, edit? Vertex tool. So you can, we can add a point. As you can see, we could edit this like that. And the question would be really how many points can we add to this?
Look, it's a radio-controlled excavator, and he's delivering it to a sandbox.
Sometimes it's hard to get this thing to move.
And fast. He's on top of a dirt pile.
I need help with the dump truck. I can help with that.
Oh my! It's a huge kick-through monster truck with a dump trailer attached. The Speedy had it in his mail.
So I'm not really happy with the editing tool here because it doesn't really make sense. Like you're supposed to be like click and what? I mean, you click and you drag, but if we double click, we get a what? We get another line segment. So I guess that we can keep trying this, and then once we stop editing and we save, we're going to have to rerun the paths thing, because this one here, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, now we've got many more points than that. So when we run the field calculator and we update the existing field, which is the LineWKT, and we go to that expression, we should have more than 6 here. And went to null. Interesting. Update the existing field being LineWKT. And say geometry to WKT, and then geometry. That's the preview, and there it is. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it got cut off before 10. Yeah, so clearly the problem is that we're not able to have a field length that can accommodate all of that geometry. So what did chat tell us we could do? If they're extremely complex, you may want to consider it an external file or database. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, but you see, I have to tell it that. Thanks, but see, that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the results of the path I drew as a WKT into my spreadsheet, and it is truncating when it fills the field in the attribute table. Is there another way to calculate the WKT from the shape file I drew, so I can simply put it into the spreadsheet and bypass the limited attribute table, which only goes up to 999, by the way.
When the toy breaks, don't throw it
And let's see what it says.
Fix it. All these rooters were broken. I used the bolt, an aluminum plate,
Yes, I am.
Did you know that
all right, Python console. Plugins Python console, get the WKT from your layer. Well, Guess it's time to get into Python. All right, then. Let's do as it says. And we'll try to eliminate this problem. All right, so plugins, Python console. There it is. All right, that's not so hard. What next? Get the thing from your layer. Here's a Python script you can run in the GS Python console. Console the code. Layer equals, to make sure line layer is active, and then features equals layer.getFeatures. That's iface. For features in features geometry equals feature.geometry. Print that, and that'll print it. Well, okay. That could be cool. Let's see if that works. So, boom. Oops, not letting me. I have to toggle it somehow. Here console, run command, options, show editor, just like this. There we go. And then run it. And there we go. Oh, look at that. All right, so now we'll take this multi-string and so actually before I do this, since this looks like this is going to work really well, let me make a really detailed map. So let's try this again. I'm going to remove this layer, discard everything there, remove the layer, and I'm going to start again. I got a layer I'm going to create. It's going to be a shapefile layer. I want it to be called paths. The file encoding is that, the line string is that. I'm going to have a name, and I'm going to have a, I guess all I need is the name, but yeah, I just need the name. Why would I need more? Yes, I did want to do this. All right, so there's paths. Now, in this, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to start drawing a really detailed, really long path. So starting at this house here, our friend walks down the lane. He goes over to see his neighbor first to pick him up, and he comes down the lane, and he goes down the path here, and underneath these trees, and then he goes down to here, and he says, all right, I'm going to take this little road down to there, come down to here, come down to here, zigzag down to there, and get our way down to there. And then what? And then we're going to go to, it's going to come down this path, go down that way, go under these trees, pick up this friend here, walk by that friend's house, go down there, go to the main road, now come down the main road to there, then go along the ridge here. So all these points that I'm putting in, that's a lot of data. Come down here and curve around and down, 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 and down. Enter here, and then go up to the party, which is there. All right, and call this path to party, as we did. Let me put that in there. It's not letting me do it. Path to party.
Getting the job done. Bring on the combine. It's towing its header because it's so wide.
Hey, Nye, that's too loud, buddy.
Then come around to attach the header.
So it's
Great.
ID
That's done.
1
Now,
and
open the grain tank
say OK.
and put down the header.
So that is our path.
Let's go. Here comes the
And that path is going to be under symbology. We're going to use that neon again.
And leaves a clean field.
All right. That is the complicated path that we want to get in there. So we can stop editing and save that.
I'll be right there.
And then we take the big risk because we go to plugins and we say Python console, and we are going to get rid of that. Don't need that. We're going to take this. So it's going to let me delete that or not. I don't want this. How do I delete it? There, console. Okay, the console's been cleared, but this is the same code that we had. So we run the code, and we have a lot more points. And then we can show the editor, .code editor. No, so we just want to take this down to the closing thing. All right, copy it, go to our spreadsheet, and in our line,
Open the access panel.
we're going to put that entire thing in there. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Right.
It looks like he
But
got it.
Excel and these other spreadsheets look like they do
All good.
allow us to see all that, right? See if we can format the cells so that
Do all of your couch cushions go missing
it's
too?
Oh no, he's in the drain tank.
borders, tape, where's the thing about alignment?
Well, that's the last time those pellets
We
were
want to
all
wrap the
over.
text automatically.
Wow, that's a full drain tank.
There it is. All right, so it's all in there, I guess. I mean, you have to really go down to see it's all in there. But those are a lot of shapes in there. All right, so let's assume then, we don't have to assume anything. We can actually continue going down until we can see
That works great.
if we have the whole thing in there. Especially if we make this bigger. Yeah, there it is. It's all in there with the double brackets at the bottom. That's that entire zigzag line that we had. I'm going to save this. And I'm going to go back to my map. And this time I am going to be bold and I'm going to say, you know what, I can get rid of this because I'm confident that it's going to work. Close the Python console. And now go to Layer and add layer from the delimited text. The file name is that same CSV. The geometry is from the LineWKT. And that's it. That should work. Add it.
Lower the assembly into your trench.
Where did it go?
Start filling it in.
So
Call before you dig and pull permit.
it should be here. It's just hidden. Let's go to the yeah, magenta's good. Where's my neon? I had that cool neon thing. There's a simple line, colorful. Well, I'll just make it really big. I'll make it pixels, and I'll make it 10.
We have another kitty drift on top of our burning tower.
There it is.
It's calling
Look at that. All right, so that does it. I just need to say OK here. That does it. We have a path that is very complex, but that we stored in the spreadsheet. And we can now use Python to do that storing anytime that we like, but we must remember what that Python code is. And I will take that Python code, Python code there that ChatGPT gave us, and I will put it in our so here in our class group. Here is the Python code for extracting the multi-line coordinates for a path that we create in our HAF mountains map, so we can store it in our spreadsheet. And that's it.
Oh wow, look at all those toys. Do you want me to take
Right.
a look at?
So at least we have that for everybody. But that is exciting because that now means that we can store every feature in a spreadsheet and we don't have those limitations that were driving us nuts. All right, thanks for your patience in this. That was a great stumble through for me. And thanks for the genius of ChatGPT helping us solve these problems. Hope that you will share with us your discoveries as you go on. Thanks and bye.
Perfect.